Hello to my Art House Meriden art students. Today we're going to do a watercolor lesson on shading, but also have quite many details. We're going to do an ice cream cone because why not? Everyone loves ice cream. It's almost summertime, and what better subject to have is ice cream watercolor painting. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with a piece of paper from your notepad. You're going to fold and then rip it or cut it in half so you have a long piece of paper. You're going to need your paint brushes. Don't forget to wet your watercolors. You're going to need water, an eraser, a black permanent marker, a pencil, and a ruler. So the first thing we're going to do is measure about 3.5 to 4 inches up from the bottom. Make a line, and then about 1.5 inches, make a mark, and then somewhere in between there, make another mark. So we're going to go straight across. Make sure your pencil lines are light because you are going to have to erase them. And then what we're doing is we're creating a table edge. The next step is to, in the middle of this bigger section, you're going to make an oval, an ellipse, a skinny oval. From this end, you're going to draw slightly curved away. This is your cone, and it's going to go through the table. Okay, so an ice cream cone also has an ellipse at the top. So we're going to make a curved edge like this. You're then going to erase and erase that line. Okay, the next step is to lightly make your waffle cone look like a waffle cone. So at an angle, you're going to make these diagonal lines. Remember, lightly in pencil. All right, the next step is to make your cones, your ice cream. So very lightly just start making an ovally arch above your cone. Once you think you have a good shape, this part you're going to have like the drips. So you're just going to use like a wavy edge. Don't get too crazy, but a little bit, and you can erase those lines. We're going to have another scoop on top because we like to live on the dangerous side. And again, you're going to have your little wavies, like drips. And we'll have another scoop on top of that. You can have as many drips as you want. And then for that other one, I had a cherry, but you could have a strawberry on top. Actually, let's see. You could have a cherry, a strawberry, a blueberry, whipped cream, whatever you would like. Okay. So now the next step is to make anything you want in your ice cream. So here you can see I did gummy worms. There's the cherry. I tried to make gummy bears, chocolate chips, sprinkles, and I'll show you how to do those with the paint. We're not going to pencil those in. You could think of anything that you want on your on ice cream. So when you do that, you're going to make like a little ellipse again, like we did here, where our ice cream sits. So anytime you have something sticking out of your ice cream and it looks like it's stuck in place, you can do like the letter C and then make like, these are my candy canes. You could do hearts, you could do flowers, you could do pretzels, you could do real worms, whatever you want sticking out of your ice cream is a great grand idea. Okay, you're gonna start to paint your picture. So remember, the idea is to keep the shadow on one side. Now, to mix up your colors of ice cream's pretty light usually in color, except for maybe chocolate. So I'm gonna have pistachio. And I'm just gonna start painting in on the left-hand side. And I'm only gonna do about halfway. So you can see it's not too dark, but all the watery part is over here. I'm going to rinse my brush, squeeze it off a little bit, and just paint with water. Now the idea is to try and get it lighter on this side. This is our real goal here. We're working light to dark. It's a good practice lesson for shading. Okay, rinse off your brush. Maybe I'll do strawberry. So I don't want it too dark. Now, the best thing to probably have done was to wait till this dries, but I didn't. So I'm going to be really careful. You could switch over to your smaller brush. If it does bleed in, that's okay. I can show you what to do in that case. Rinse off your brush. Now we're just painting with water. And we're trying to go over to the right side and get lighter. Okay, this one, now remember I have red and white candy canes and a red strawberry. So I'm not going to do pink. Let's see, maybe I'll do purple. Could be blackberry or grape ice cream. So if it does bleed into the other color, I can show you a trick. I'm gonna get a little bit more color. This is like my favorite ice cream. It's like black raspberry. Okay, rinse off your brush. And now we're just adding water. And if your paint is not dark enough, you can always go over it again and add more darkness to this side. Okay, so I'm gonna scooch some of the water over to this side to keep it lighter. All right. To mix up your cone color, you're going to need yellow. You're gonna need orange, just a little teeny bit, and a teeny tiny dab of brown. I don't know if you can see this. You're gonna mix it all together and add some water, because cones are pretty light in color. Again, you're trying to make this side lighter. I mean, this side darker, sorry. And as you go over to the other side, you're going to become lighter. So I'm gonna puddle my paint, rinse off my brush a little bit, and paint with just water. Okay. And for my strawberry, and then I could put the little black seedy spots in with the pen or maybe the marker. Okay, so now see how this is bleeding right here? I have my smaller brush. I'm going to wet it, but I'm going to squeeze off the water and try and pick up some of that paint. The other thing I forgot to tell you is that we're gonna need a paper towel. So even if this leaves a stain, another thing you can do is rip off your paper towel and maybe dab. That's okay, because you know what? Sometimes colors bleed into ice cream because it's wet. No worries. All right, I'm going to do my candy canes. So candy canes are usually white and red. And what I'm gonna do is show you how to make a shadow. So they're white, but we're gonna do like a bluish, a very light blue shadow. So you can test it out on your paper towel, and that's gonna go halfway here underneath. Test it out. Not bad. And then underneath here, I'm gonna get a little bit darker and do like a shadow from where it came out of the ice cream. So now the next step is to paint our table. And I'm gonna use the blue again. And again, this side is darker. And as it goes over here, it's gonna be lighter. And then we have the edge of the table is gonna be darker. So I'm gonna do this one time, but I'm gonna let it dry because I have a feeling if I do it again, it's gonna run in. There's also a shadow here and here, which is black, but I'm gonna wait on that. So to do your little sprinkles or your chocolate chips, all right, these are sprinkles. So you can see I'm using my little brush. I'm really picking up the paint with wiping off the water and just making little sprinkle lines. Okay. And let's see, I think I'll have some green ones. You really have to let this dry though, and I have a feeling that side didn't dry enough. So they're going to bleed. So I should have waited. All right. If you want to have, if you want to have like chocolate chips, take your brown and just make little triangles for like those little Hershey like mini kisses. Okay. And my stem. All right. So I'm going to let this dry. Here you can see I did the black outline here. And then I further outlined everything in my marker. So I'm going to show you for the gummy bears. They are very little. I left the whites of the eyes white to try and give them like a little sparkle because they're gummy bears. They're shiny. A little thing for their ears. You could do, let's see, we could do more. This one's really dry. So now I can do the yellow, and I know it won't bleed because this has been drying for a while. All right, more sprinkles. And then for the background, we're going to use the salt. Now I know some of you, if not all of you, did this with me at our house in Meriden. So you pick up any color you want. You're going to wet your background. And if you want to do this first and then outline, that's fine. But definitely wait to outline if you're going to do it first so that you have the watercolor dry. You don't want to ruin your marker. So as soon as you paint, I like to sprinkle the salt in. Remember, you're not going to shake the salt on. You're just going to sprinkle it on with your fingers like a pinch. And you can use many colors for the background to make it really festive. Once you drop the salt on, remember you don't want to paint over it or touch it. You want to let the salt do its little crystallizing thing. Okay. And you would finish off your whole background. If you don't want to use the salt, you can just paint your background any way that you want. It doesn't have to be sprinkly. It could be all one color. But let me see what you do with yours. If you have like pretzels in yours, if you have, I don't know, like watermelon slices. That doesn't really make sense. But you could do like crazy things like hearts and flowers and leaves sticking out of it. You could have anything. So let me see what you're going to do because I can't wait. And good luck. Have fun.